Hello, fellow mompreneurs. Welcome to the Real Moms Podcast, the go-to space for resilient entrepreneurs who are striving for abundant living. I'm your host, Shae Spitz, a mompreneur and a realtor here in Columbus, Nebraska. Are you a mom juggling the hustle of entrepreneurship, family life, and personal growth? Well, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we dive deep into the real, unfiltered stories of incredible women who are navigating the journey of mompreneurship. We'll celebrate the victories, share practical insights, and acknowledge that it's okay to face challenges along the way. Success isn't about the destination. It's about the journey and the growth we experience as we balance our careers and the chaos of family life. Whether you're a seasoned mompreneur or just starting on this exciting path, join me and our amazing guests as we explore what it truly means to be a resilient entrepreneur striving for abundant living. Get ready for real, raw, and remarkable conversations that will inspire and uplift you. Because here at the Real Moms Podcast, we believe in the power of community, authenticity, and the strength that comes from embracing the journey together. So grab your coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's dive into the world of mompreneurship. This is the Real Moms Podcast, where we celebrate the hustle, honor the struggle, and thrive as resilient entrepreneurs living abundantly. Welcome to Real Moms, where resilient entrepreneurs create abundant lives for themselves and their families. Before we jump into today's conversation, I'd love your support. If you're inspired by what you hear today, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and share this episode with another mom who's building her business and her dreams. Your reviews and shares help us spread the message that moms can truly have both success in business and abundance at home. So let's dive in. I love starting every episode off with a motivational quote, and today's quote is it's actually from Rumi, and it's, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." This quote is such a beautiful reminder that healing isn't something to be feared. It's often where our greatest growth and transformation begins. And today's guests embody that truth in such a powerful way. So today, I am thrilled to welcome Jen and Tiffany, the co-founders of Sister Compass, a living temple and community devoted to the rise of the divine feminine. Through Reiki, ceremony, breathwork, mentorship, and sacred sisterhood, they guide women with a home to their inner magic, empowered truth, and soul's voice. Their mission is rooted in the belief that healing and empowerment within the individual can spark healing and empowerment within the collective. When one woman remembers her magic, she becomes a lighthouse for others. And together we create a ripple of balance and love across the planet. So Jen and Tiffany, welcome to the Real Moms Podcast.
Thank you so much for having us, Shae. We're so excited to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me a little bit. You guys have been in this business together for about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Would one of you want to start with why you're here, how you got here, and then you can go on to the other one?
Sure. I'll go ahead and start. First of all, thank you, Shae, for having us. I'm so excited to be here and welcome to your community. So I am a life coach, mental health counselor, and I really consider myself like a sacred doula. And the word doula means to be in service. And so I've had this deep longing for a long time that has been a part of me really since I was a child, to create a space where women could feel held in all of their humanness. So many of us spend our lives trying to fit into certain roles and expectations, and we end up wearing masks just to make it through the day. And Jen and I really wanted to build a place where those masks could come off, where women could show up exactly as they are, imperfect, perfect, emotional, powerful, and still be valued. So it's been this dream for a long time to create this space. And I always say I just needed to wait for my sister to come. I had always had the name Sister Compass. And when I met Jen, it was just really divine in a lot of ways in the way that we came together to create this space. So I always say I had to wait for my sister for this space to be created.
I believe it. Now, Jen, what's your story?
So my story is I was just bebopping along life. And when I started having children and became a mom myself, I wanted to be the best mom that I could. So that sent me on this personal development journey of being the best parent and being able to create more alignment with my partner around parenting. That's really where my journey started. And along that path, it was really, I did a deep inner work on myself, which led me to more of this spiritual path, the universe, and learning that there's so much more out there than just our human selves. And so I met Tiffany along the way, and it was like an instant connection. When I met her, she shared all of these ideas with me. She had this name, Sister Compass, for a long time, and she had all these beautiful visions and ideas that were just still percolating in her heart. And I just had this strong sense that we were meant to bring these to life, that these visions and her ideas and creations had to be out there for the world to experience. And so from there, things just took off in a very organic way.
So you guys are obviously in completely two different states. So how do
Yes.
you make that work? And then Tiffany, you had these visions. Are these visions coming to life? What are those visions? And then how do you do it in two different states?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Shae. So we are in two different states. Thankfully, we're blessed to live in a time with technology where we can do things like this and have meetings live over Zoom. And we do something every Monday where we meet for a meeting and we create sacred space together, one-on-one, over our Zoom meetings. So we meet, we talk every single day. We're just blessed to be able to do this through the internet. Sometimes it's hard, and we've gotten really good at driving 4 hours like it's old hat. We're like drive to each other sometimes. Jen just came down this last weekend because we're planning a big retreat in November. And we spent the whole weekend just really in a bubble of doing deep work together. So little things like that is the way that we've done it. And we've had to grow through that. But I think we've done a great job, Jen. Don't you?
We have. I think we both have such a mutual commitment to this work and to each other that it's like it feels effortless to really make that work. Of course, my dream is that we live next door to each other someday, but for now, I'm grateful to at least live in driving distance and of course have technology to be able to do a lot of this together.
Yes. Now, what is your vision? How are you helping other women right now? What are you guys doing?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you want to go?
No, go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
One of the biggest things that we do are live in-person retreats where we're bringing women together with other women to really reconnect to a sense of sisterhood, community, connect to themselves. So many women are so busy, burnt out, strung out in their jobs, their roles as mothers, wives, and they never give themselves any time, and they've forgotten what it means to be empowered, what it means to be lit up and held and witnessed by other women, not from a place that feels like competition, from a place of true feminine love. And through that kind of what we call a divine feminine lens, we teach Reiki. And Reiki is an energy healing modality that uses life force that you channel through your body, through your hands, for healing, for relaxation, for well-being, for stress relief. And we teach Reiki certification on these retreats as a way for these women to really reconnect with something tangible within them, what we call their inner magic, to remember themselves as healers, as sisters, and as empowered women who have come here with a light to shine and with a purpose that's more than just what they may think in their everyday lives.
Yeah, I would just add to that really at the heart of Sister Compass is really helping women to remember that they are worthy and that they're worthy of love and connection. And we have 3 tenets that we live by in our motto, I guess you can call it, which is be you, belong, be magic. And the be you aspect is you being able to take off those masks that we sometimes wear and be your authentic self, connect to your authenticity, your truth, your uniqueness, and feel worthy in that. And also belong is our second tenet, which is really all about the community and the sisterhood and that innate human need to belong to something where you feel accepted, not judged, supported. And then the last tenet is be magic, which is where that empowerment comes in. What are your unique gifts that you bring to the world, and allowing you to feel those gifts, to feel empowered in yourself, and also to recognize the magic in the world itself, the miracles that are all around you all the time. I think we weave those tenets into everything that we do. It's like being yourself, loving yourself, being your truth, finding your own inner compass, we call it, belonging to a community where you're supported and seen, and then be magic, sharing your gifts with the world, coming into your own empowerment and seeing the divine in everything. So that's the heart of what we weave into what Jen was saying. We have our retreats, we have an online membership sisterhood community, and then we do pop-ups in the community as well.
That's really neat. So do you find, like, at these retreats, do you see a lot of women who haven't maybe found who they truly are or their authentic selves? Because one, I see this a lot in stay-at-home moms, and there's, God bless the women who can be stay-at-home moms. I love my children dearly, but there's no way. There is no way. And I do see a lot of stay-at-home moms who lose a sense of themselves. They lose their identity and they get lost because then they feel like all they are is just a mom. That's not, I don't want to like degrade that by any means, but you're not just a mom, but you start feeling that way because you feel like you don't maybe have another purpose outside of your kids. But I also see it on the flip side too, where especially somebody like me, I'm very driven, very focused on my business, that I get so consumed in my business that I lose that sense of identity of being a mom though too. So that's why this whole mompreneurship, the Real Moms thing came about, was because I started kind of losing myself with my relationship with my husband and my kids maybe a little bit because I was so focused on my business. And I didn't have somebody to kind of turn to. I have an amazing family. I have an amazing husband, amazing friends, but it wasn't like all of it in one. I mean, do you see a lot of these women who have an aha moment at these retreats?
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is such a common dynamic that so many moms face, where we feel like we have to almost choose myself and my dreams and my business, or my children and my family. And we really do to bring this sense of sacred balance into everything we do into our retreats, and show women that it's not a choice, that they can actually have both of these. One of the ways that we do this is teaching them that they can weave the sacred into their everyday lives with their kids. And so as we teach them this energy work, and we teach them about how to balance their feminine energy, they do have aha moments. And when they go back home and they realize that, oh, okay, I can do both, and I have a support system, because after our retreats, we're with them for a full 3 weeks of integration. Wow. And then if they're in our online community, they have constant access to us and to each other. So it doesn't feel like you're doing it alone. One of the problems is women just feel so isolated these days. And like you said, like, it's hard to figure out who to turn to. So this comes with a built-in sisterhood, and it's not like overnight all of a sudden everything feels balanced. It is a practice, but it's so much easier when we're doing it together.
Yeah, you bring up such great points, and motherhood today is really isolating. It's very different than it used to be. We used to live intergenerationally. You had maybe your mom or your grandma or your sister, your aunts across the street. Even today, we don't really live around the friends we grew up with, right? Many of us have moved to different areas. So the people who like really know us aren't always in our field anymore. And then you take that and you top it on this culture now where we're constantly reading articles about how to be a better mother, how to be a better wife, how to be a better entrepreneur, how to be a better this, that, the other thing. And we're like trying to be all of these things, and we're carrying a huge load. And then we're looking at social media highlight reels and comparing ourselves to other women. And it can feel really isolating, overwhelming, burnt out. And you talked about something before, Shae. You are naturally a person who's like a go-getter, right? And we work a lot. Jen mentioned feminine energy. So we work a lot with balancing masculine and feminine energy. And we live in a world that glorifies masculine energy. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about,
Right. Yep.
and that's that doing and striving and productivity and constant motion. And those qualities are valuable, but many women have been conditioned to live almost entirely from that energy. And we're rewarded for it, right? We're rewarded for that performing and achieving and keeping it all together, work hard, raise the kids, keep the home, make the money, look young. All this is the messaging that women receive. But that constant output and that perpetual doing mode is what really can disconnect us and burn us out from our bodies, our intuition, our sense of peace. And it's not that masculine energy is bad. It's just that we're not meant to only live in that energy. So bringing that feminine energy into balance is part of the point. The rest, the creativity, the allowing, the receiving, the nurturance, the leading from the heart instead of the head. These are all feminine qualities that we've been taught are weak, right? Or don't be such a girl, or you're too sensitive, or emotions are too much. But they're really our superpowers, and we need to learn to bring them into balance. And so we find that a lot of moms are living from that space. And when they start to learn to live from their heart a little bit more and balance these energies, they do start to have those aha moments and this healing. And what Jen was talking about, being able to put themselves first to fill up so that they can experience some of these other things that they desire.
Right. And most women entrepreneurs do have a lot of the masculine energy. And I know that comes a lot from me too. And you're right. It's not a gender thing. It is the masculine energy. It is the go-getter, the constant drive for what's more, what's next, and striving for always happy but never satisfied kind of mentality. But what gets tough is then when you go home and you have kids and you're still in that masculine energy and you just keep going, you're making all the decisions, and you never really can experience that feminine side. So it's so interesting because what's that?
With our partner too. And that,
absolutely. Like one thing that him and I, my husband and I have really worked on is him making decisions. Him taking over like supper time has taken off so much of a caseload for me. It is unbelievable. And if he's the one choosing a date night, I want him being the one scheduling the babysitter, and I want him to pick where we're going. I don't give a shit. I don't. If you're like, hey babe, we're going out, I got it all taken care of. Oh my gosh. But if you have to ask me, like, you want to go do something? And then I have to find a babysitter, and then we have to decide where we're going. No, I don't want to go do anything. I don't. And it's interesting because I have that different relationship with my friends. And when I'm with the mom group, I have that masculine energy. I'm the one making the decisions. I'm scheduling everything. We're doing it all. And when I go to like my friends from high school group, there's one of my other best friends. She's more of the masculine energy. And I literally like, just tell me where I need to be and who I need to Venmo. Literally. It's so crazy how different I can be depending on my friend groups. Yeah. Because like they're planning all the things. And I'm like, just tell me where I need to be and who I need to Venmo. The other one, I'm planning everything. And they've never seen the other side where I can be just like, oh, yes, I'm just going to sit back and relax. But it's crazy. Like you have to realize where your feminine energy and your masculine energy happens.
Where that happens, where it serves. I think we can naturally learn to go in and out of them where they're needed. And that's important. Jen, did you want to say something, honey?
No, I think that's so common. And I think that it comes back to women just wanting to feel supported and held in so many different ways, but not make that eclipse their motivating, creative energy. And it's like, how do we bring those into balance? Talking to the spouse about, hey, babe, can you just like plan this? Or coming into a friend group where you do feel held. Either there's somebody else in the group that loves that role, or you're all just in it together, and like co-creating whatever it is together. So it is so important.
Yeah. And I think we see that so many women, what they need, it's unique to each woman, but a lot of what women need is support and permission, right? Permission to slow down, to rest, to ask for help, to care for ourselves, to actually put ourselves first without guilt, right? And to know that they are worthy of being witnessed. And then support can can happen in multiple ways. There's emotional support, right? There's spiritual support. And then there's that practical support, like it takes a village, somebody else pick up the kids, do dinner, that kind of thing. I think we also really help women to understand what their needs are. It's different for everyone, what they need to thrive, but being able to bring those components in when they really are able to come into a place where they can listen to their own heart and be witnessed by other women and hear that they're not alone in this. Oh, I feel that too. When you hear another woman share her story and you go, me too, it really takes that shame that we've been so conditioned to feel, or that protection to even trust one another with our stories. And then we start to see, oh, okay, we're not so alone. Oh, now I can give myself some permission or allow myself to receive some of this support.
Jen, you said before that you never really grew up religious, and now you believe in the higher power and the ultimate divine. Tell me a little bit about that experience, because I grew up Christian, Catholic actually, and then I went away from the church for a while after college and whatever else. And then when my husband and I got married and we started having kids, we actually joined a local church and we absolutely love it about 5-6 years ago. It's been amazing, but it is important to find the right place that you can connect with. What's so great about where we go is the average age of the people is about 26 to 28 years old. Wow. So there's a lot of little kids. That's the world I'm living in right now. There's 70 like little kids. It's crazy. But I would say this last year, let alone the last like month and a half, it has just been a whole different reset world for me. So take me through that, because it's not natural for everybody to believe and feel that. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, again, I didn't grow up in any organized religion, but just I had relatives that were spiritual, that could see spirits or just have a sixth sense about things. And I was always really fascinated by that. And I always believed that there was something else, like a higher power, but it just wasn't in a structured way. And I actually really appreciated that, because I always had this sense of like, how do you tell somebody like what is the truth? Like, I always felt a little bit of the dogma that came with organized religion. And I don't know what the truth is, but I want to discover like what my own beliefs are. And so when I started on more of a spiritual path, learning about the universe, for instance, and like universal laws and things like that, but also this sense of the unseen and angels and spirits and just energy, like everything is energy. I just formed my own, chose what I believed in. And that now that we have this community, we have women of all sorts of religions. We're not a religion. We're very open to believe whatever you want to believe, whatever that higher power is for you or not. And so it feels like just freedom to me to be able to just come in and just have a sense of that there's something. And maybe even if you don't believe in like a higher power, believing in your higher self and your ability to really take care of yourself from an energetic standpoint and from a healing standpoint. So I think this sense of freedom and being able to really develop my own beliefs has been huge for me.
Yeah, just believing and feeling and knowing that it's not in your control, that you can give up some of their struggles and stressors to something outside you.
That's right.
You don't have to have all of that weight on your shoulders. You can say, you know what? I'm giving it to the universe. It is your will, your way. And there is just a sense, like I just got a little bit goosebumps for that, because there is just a sense of relief when you know that it's not all falling onto your shoulders. There is truly a higher power. And if you can give your stressors up to that higher power, it can relieve so much more stress. I was sitting outside yesterday morning, it was freezing, but just like sitting there and like breathing in the cold air and listening to the wind. And I'm talking to God and I'm just like, God, take it all, take the stress from me. And I just got chills when I was sitting there. And I'm like, I know there's another higher power. This is not for me to be in control of. And it's very powerful.
Yeah, super powerful. And we see a lot of, that's another reason women tend to come and work with us, I think people are craving that, Shae.
Yes.
Like they're
Yeah.
really craving this desire to tap into their spirituality. And for some women, they know what that is and they have a particular faith, but they want to deepen it. They want to
Yes.
embody it. And for other women, it's more, I know there's always been something more, and I really want to have faith. I really want to have that trust in something bigger. And it's one of the things that we love. This is what we love helping women come to. And that's a big part of our community, is for people to find their own connection to the divine within themselves. Yeah. And I'm like you, I grew up Catholic. And so I do feel like I have this sort of Christian base for me personally. But like Jen said, we have women from all faiths that are within our programs. And it really is about connecting to your personal relationship with the divine.
Right. Yeah. Just having the faith that there's something bigger than you. I'm very much like you. I don't care what your religion is or, what your beliefs are, but just having that belief that there is something greater than you, it just gives you the permission to say, not like, I don't have to deal with that. You got to deal with it. You don't have to hold the weight on your shoulder that much.
Right.
Surrender, right?
Yes, there you go.
Surrender.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, one of the things that you guys had mentioned, so your quote, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And so this quote, as I stated, it's a very beautiful reminder that healing isn't something to be feared. It's often where our greatest growth and transformation begins. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I also feel that not only healing is a part of the growth and process, but it's also stepping outside your comfort zone, where so many people are fearful of stepping outside that comfort zone or to heal because they don't want to open old wounds. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this is such a good topic. I think when I think about this, for me, it's like women being afraid to be seen, and women being afraid to, like you said, step out of their comfort zones, be seen in their vulnerability, be seen in their success. And so this quote, I think Tiffany was the one that first introduced me to this quote, because when we were coaching together and she was my coach, it's really vulnerable to let yourself be seen. And I'm somebody that just wants to appear like that I have it all together and there are no cracks, there are no wounds, like I'm all good here. And so coming into the realization and the learning that we grow from those points of vulnerability, and we grow from those points of being afraid to step through the comfort zone. Otherwise, we're just staying in the same spot. And so it's scary, but our places of wounding and even our places of our gifts and showing our gifts are the portals to like the next step in this life. And it's really helped me to be more comfortable being vulnerable and my ups and my downs. It's still uncomfortable though. And I think that once we accept that, like sometimes growth is uncomfortable, but what's waiting on the other side is that light that's coming in. That's like the juice of all of it.
That's so much, Jen. And I think there's a misconception, Shae, where people confuse healing with believing that they're broken. So if you have to heal for something or you're working on healing, that you're in some way broken. And that is not true. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. It's just that there sometimes are parts of us that are ready for more. We are meant to grow and expand and reevaluate and evolve. That means you're listening. That means alive. That's part of being human. And so helping people feel more comfortable that, oh, I'm not trying to hide because I'm broken. I'm actually want to shift something in my life and bring more love, more light, more awareness. That's healing, in my opinion.
It's like working out. In order for you to have your muscles grow and tighten and tone, they have to tear. So they have to tear, they have to break in order for you to heal it and get better. Gosh, I was gonna go down something else.
It's just so funny that you said that, because I use that metaphor a lot when we're teaching. It's if you're going to the gym and you're like lifting a 1 pound weight, nothing's happening. Like you have to lift those higher weights. But I also just wanted to share too that this has come up so much in my parenting, like this lesson of letting my kids see my vulnerable side, going back to them and being like, hey, I messed up, I'm sorry. And using those cracks to actually show them and model for them what it looks like to be able to own up to the things that feel like we're broken, but actually see them as diving boards or springboards into our next evolution of who we are as people.
So I do remember, because that reminded me of what I was going to say. So when I first got into real estate, so I'm a real estate agent, and I remember like there was always these like captions that says I close deals in heels and blah blah blah, all these things. So I was like, that's so cool. I want to be that agent. So I tried it. I'd wear dresses and heels, and it's so interesting. And I did that for the first 4-ish years. And I was just like, I'm done with that. Like, I despise wearing dress. Like, I like wearing dresses occasionally, but it's just not me. It is not me. I am a tennis shoe kind of person. I'll dress up. I look nice, but I am not going to be like in these tight dresses, all the things. And I swear, when I decided to just be my true, authentic self as an agent, and I can show people that I am human, I am not this put together real estate agent, that I'm perfect and I have no flaws. I was always my authentic self. I was very open. Like, I don't want people to think, oh, she's perfect. Like she's got it all together, because I don't. But when I decided to be like, no, done with the heels, done with the dresses, I'm going back to my tennis shoes and my like sweaters and t-shirts, and like people seemed to be drawn to me more because they felt that they could relate to me more as a human. They obviously still respect me as an agent because I know my stuff and all of that, but it just opened so many more doors, and I started to enjoy it a lot more. Like, to wake up and have to, like, anybody who can do it, great, but that is just not me. I am not a dressed person with heels, and I live in Nebraska. Who knows what the weather's going to do every day? No. I like to be comfortable.
I love that so much, Shae. That's such a good example of what it means to be in your authenticity. And our authenticity, which is what you're saying, people are more drawn to you. Our authenticity is like our highest vibration. That's our gift from God, to be our authentic self. And when we're in that, instead of trying to fit into a mold, people can feel that energy. And you're right, it becomes more magnetic when you are just your true self. And that's so important. And that's, again, what I think this work tries to help women to get back to their inner compass, their truth. Because with all the noise we hear all the time, sometimes it's really hard to be like, yeah, wait, I'm not a heels and closed deals girl. I'm this, and this is so much better. So good for you. I love that story.
It just, you gotta be your, I've gone to so many appointments where I'm in like literally sweatpants and a t-shirt because I just got done coaching volleyball with my kids, and I have to drop them off at their other sporting event, but I have 30 minutes to go show you a house quick, just so you know. My hair's in a ponytail and I'm in like shorts and a tank top. Great. Nope. That sounds good. Me too. I'm like, okay, awesome. Because I'm not going to go home and change and do all the things. Not doing it. Otherwise, we'll have to schedule another time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we got to start wrapping up. So where can people find you online if they're wanting to get connected with your online community or even attend your in-person events?
Yeah. Right now, we're mostly on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best place to find us. We're on Instagram and Facebook, but Instagram is like our home right now, where it's at sister__compass, so 2 underscores, or email tiffandjen@sistercompass.com. We currently do not have a website, but we're working on it. But all of our stuff is on Instagram. Our links are there as well. And that's probably the best place to find us, I think.
Okay, awesome. And we'll include those in the show notes. And then you guys also have different levels. So you have a Divine Feminine Reiki level 1 retreat, more magic membership community, and then like a Compass Rose coaching. Is that right?
So there's several ways that you can work with us. So you can come to our live in-person retreats, or if we do any community kind of pop-ups. But then we also have a monthly Sisterhood membership that is online. And what I was saying to you before, there's nothing like being live, right? That's amazing. Right. But I think we have really cultivated a beautiful space online, which allows you to find your people and find your sisterhood across the country. We meet several times a month, and that's a really great way to get to know us. You could do it monthly with no commitment, right? You could just come in for a month, see what we're all about, work with us for a month. And then most of those people do wind up coming on a retreat with us. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing.
And then so each other.
What's that?
than getting to deeply know each
Yeah.
other, the sisters
Yeah.
in the community.
There's just something about the in-person connection that you're not going to get no matter how many times you do it virtually and get online virtually. There's something about it's the energy. It really is truly that energy. And one of the things that I think when you live in like a scarcity mindset, you live in like a, in my opinion, like a dark tunnel almost. Everything's closed off. So what I like to look at is like two things that I always think about is opportunity and abundance. Like just sitting here in my office, it's a small office. You look around and I'm seeing like all these vehicles and there's 4 homes outside here, this building, there's multi-million dollars worth of assets sitting right around me. So living in an abundance and opportunity mindset, it can change your life. But when you live in that scarcity mindset, oh, I don't have anything, I can't do this, then you start to believe it. It's that energy. Where your energy goes, or where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you're flowing to the negative energy, that's where you're going to live. But so there's more about that higher power. So what is one piece of advice? You guys can either each answer this or together. What is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
I would say for me, it's trust yourself and to trust the unfolding. Sometimes we're led on so many different paths, but that's okay. It's part of what's creating you. At least that was for me. I was definitely a variety driven person that kind of flowed all over life, that some people might have looked at and been like, oh, you're not grounded enough, or you're not focused, or you should be, all those things we talked about earlier. But honestly, all of those paths created who I am today, took me to where I am today, and really trusting myself, trusting my paths, and being open to learning and reevaluating and just having that connection with the divine, myself, and trusting where I'm being led.
Yes. Jen?
It's so funny. I was going to say the exact same thing because I think it's so hard. I think it's so hard for a younger self to really know, to be able to trust the heart. So that would be one of them too. But also I think I would tell myself too that it's okay to be more vulnerable and that my gifts come through an open heart. And even though that feels hard, it is part of the path forward. And so to trust that as well, let yourself be seen in your true authenticity and vulnerability, because it is part of your mission here in this lifetime.
One of my favorite quotes is, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Yeah. So like you said, you like just go on these paths and you don't really know why, but you're pulled to or told to, or you have that intuition to do it. And then when you look back, you're like, oh, that's why. Or, oh, that's why God didn't answer those prayers right then, because he had a bigger plan and a bigger purpose for me. So, but you can't you don't know that until you have that aha moment. And it might be a year, 5 years, 10 years, or after you're gone when you finally find out some of these answers. Jen and Tiffany, thank you both for joining us today. Your work is such a beautiful reminder that healing and sisterhood and feminine connection are powerful forces. So not just for individual growth, but for collective awakening. And to our listeners, remember, you're resilient, you are radiant, and you are never alone in your journey. So keep shining, keep connecting, and keep choosing abundance in every season of motherhood and life. So until next time, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Shae, and thank you to your community. Thanks for what you put out there. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of the Real Moms Podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their story and insights today. If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And hey, sharing is caring, right? Share this podcast with your fellow mompreneurs, friends, and anyone who you feel could use a dose of inspiration. Share it on your social media as well. But most importantly, if you found this episode helpful, please, please, please leave me a 5-star review. This helps get our information out to those who have never heard or seen us before. Are you feeling inspired and you're sure that you could add some value to the podcast? Shoot me a message and let's talk. We love hearing from you. So connect with us on social media. Tag me at Shae J Spitz. That's ShaeJSpitz. And share your thoughts and takeaways, or even suggest topics you'd like to have us explore more in the future episodes. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Your resilience is your strength, and your pursuit of abundant living is truly remarkable. As always, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep embracing the beautiful chaos of being a mompreneur. Until next time, take care, stay real, and keep living abundantly.